Leonidas is one of the most iconic figures in ancient history, remembered for his heroism and supreme sacrifice in the famous Battle of Thermopylae. He was a Spartan king belonging to the Aegeid dynasty, one of the two royal families that ruled Sparta and lived in the 5th century BC, at a time when Greece was facing the growing threat of the Persian Empire. His life and exploits are shrouded in legend, as his glorious death became a symbol of courage, discipline, and loyalty to the country. Leonidas was born in one of the most militarized and disciplined cities of antiquity, Sparta. Spartan society was known for its rigid system of military education, aimed at producing exceptional warriors and citizens devoted to the state. From birth, every Spartan child was subjected to a rigorous selection. Newborns were examined by the city elders and, if deemed weak or malformed, they were abandoned on Mount Taygetos. Leonidas was no exception and, like all young Spartans, he grew up in an environment of extreme discipline. His education was focused on physical resistance, martial skills, survival, and absolute obedience to orders. Spartan culture imposed total dedication to war, considered the only activity worthy of a free citizen. Unlike other Spartan kings, Leonidas did not ascend to the throne by birthright, but by the special circumstances of his family. He was in fact the youngest son of King Anaxandridas II, and became ruler only after the death of his elder brother, Cleomenes I, who had no direct heirs. This meant that Leonidas had received the same training and education as a normal Spartan citizen, an aspect that made him even closer to his soldiers and contributed to making him a respected and beloved leader. His accession to the throne occurred at a particularly delicate time for Sparta and for Greece as a whole. Faced with this threat, the Greek city-states, often divided by internal rivalries, decided to unite and fight together against the common enemy. Sparta, recognized as the city with the best land army, assumed a leadership role in the Greek coalition, and Leonidas was chosen to lead the Hellenic forces in the defense of the pass of Thermopylae. Leonidas' strategy was to block the Persian advance at the pass of Thermopylae, a strategic point where the numerically inferior Greek army could exploit the terrain to its advantage. The pass was a narrow gorge between the mountains and the sea, which nullified the numerical superiority of the Persians and allowed the Greeks to resist effectively. For 3 days, the Greek soldiers heroically repelled the assaults of Xerxes' immense army, inflicting heavy losses on their enemies. The Greek resistance seemed unstoppable, but fate changed when a traitor named Ephialtes revealed to the Persians the existence of a secret path that bypassed Thermopylae. Xerxes sent part of his troops along this passage, thus managing to surround the Greeks. Leonidas, aware of the impending defeat, decided to stay and fight until the end together with his 300 Spartans and a small group of allies, including 700 Thespians and 400 Thebans. The sacrifice of Leonidas and his men was heroic and allowed the other Greeks to retreat and regroup for future battles. Despite the tragic outcome of the battle, their resistance became an immortal legend, inspiring all of Greece to continue the fight against the Persian invaders. Their sacrifice was not in vain, as only a year later, at the Battle of Plataea, the Greek army inflicted a decisive defeat on the Persians, ending the threat and securing the freedom of the Hellenic city-states. The memory of Leonidas has been handed down through the centuries as a symbol of courage, discipline, and sacrifice for the homeland. The famous phrase attributed to him and his soldiers, "Molin Labe," meaning "come and take them," uttered in response to Xerxes' request to lay down their arms, is still considered today an emblem of resistance and determination. Posterity has paid homage to Leonidas through statues, stories, and literary works, and the Battle of Thermopylae has become one of the most studied events in military history. Sparta, the city that had raised such a legendary warrior, continued to be a symbol of discipline and strength throughout Greece and beyond.